That was actually just something that we did on the last record. We were approached by a cosmetic company, and we just struck a deal with them that they could use our name if all the proceeds, our proceeds and a percentage of theirs went to charity. So it was really just something sort of silly and fun for our fans who visited our website, and it wasn't really, there wasn't much thought beyond that, you know, just involving everyone and doing something good. Yeah, we're starstruck, of course.
We were at the MTV Awards and Mick Jagger walked into our dressing room, and it's hard to not go, oh my God, that's Mick Jagger. Everyone was trying to be really cool, you know, but you just, everyone's jaws sort of drop, you know.
And he realized he was in the wrong room and left.
When you're on a video set, a lot of times you have to wait for so long just to get one shot because they got to get the lighting right and get the camera set up. And Shirley had done a bunch of close-ups just to get some of the vocal parts in. And then Sam brought in all this really cool stuff like these old tape machines and guitars. And it was in this bombed-out factory. And basically he just said, okay, when we go on the stage, you guys just go nuts. And I think because we've been sitting around for like 10 hours, we went nuts. It was really a good sort of cathartic moment just to get all of the angst out, all, you know, that has been sort of pent up all day. Steve, when he picked up that guitar, the whole crew, everybody took about 20 steps backwards because we knew he was going to go off, and indeed he did.
Yeah, the first single's Androgyny from Beautiful Garbage, and we think that's a good choice. It kind of encapsulates the mood of the record and the way it moves from one part to the next. Each part in the song is a very drastic change, and the record is full of extremes like that.
Why don't you bite me?
God, there's so many. Ann Dulemeister, Margiela, Jane Mail. I mean, there's so many different types. It depends on what mood you're in, I suppose. I mean, I like a lot of the classic designers too, like Armani, you know, I mean, some of the huge, big design houses, but also like a lot of the stuff that's done, you know, locally in London, like Preen, or New York, like tiny little As4 from New York, for instance. I mean, there's a lot of different types of people, and that I'm into. It just depends really on the article of clothing. I'm not the type of person who just wants to be dressed from top to foot in a designer's vision. I think that isn't style. I mean, style is really about your energy and who you are. It's not about what someone else tells you to wear. I think people that follow fashion, look in a magazine and get told what to wear, they're not fashionable, they're not stylish, they're idiots, they're sheep.
The three gentlemen in the band have the easiest time. I mean, we just sit around and wait, which can be frustrating and hard, which leads to destruction of instruments sometimes. But Shirley, I think, Shirley, what's the most enjoyable thing for you when you're making a video? Is it the fashion?
When you lot show up, because it usually means it's coming to the end of the shoot.
It's almost over.
That's true. Shirley has to be on the set like 6 a.m. We don't have to show up till about 4 in the afternoon just for the last shot, you know.
I think it's interesting to watch it all unfold, you know. I mean, you're only talking about it in very vague terms. You're looking at storyboards and reading treatments, and the director's trying to tell you his vision of what's happening, and then to actually see it happening and be on the set and watch, you know, the direction and all of that. It's an enjoyable experience for the most part. I mean, Shirley has to be in every shot, and we the three of us can sort of stand back and watch.
I'm just really good at faking it. It's just, that's not strictly true actually. I think we enjoyed the whole process, and the concept behind the video really captured our imaginations. I think we're really proud that video got as much attention as it did, not for our own purposes, but really for Dawn Shadforth, the director, who was this young girl from London. She hadn't really done very many videos, and we saw the video that she did for All Seeing Eye on MTV. And we just loved the way she edited it. It had this really musical sensibility, the way she cut the visuals to fit the music. And so we called her up. She wrote us this amazing storyboard, And she herself made this incredible little movie, basically, and that we had the privilege of being in. But it was really her vision and her hard work, and it was a real labour of love, you know. And she got a lot of, you know, applause for it, and I think that's wonderful. She more than deserves it.
We got asked to do the Bond song while we were on tour, and I remember when a fax came through into our dressing room, Shirley screamed out loud because I think it was a sort of a secret wish to sing a Bond theme one day. And you had met David Arnold before, and it turns out he's a huge Garbage fan. And he sent us just a mock-up of just the melody of what the strings might sound like, and we fell in love with it. At that point on, it was probably one of the most interesting recording processes that we ever went through, because we were in the middle of a tour. So when we'd have a couple hours off, we'd call David from a hotel room and all sit around the phone, and he'd play some stuff, some bits over us, and we had a little keyboard set up. We could play some things back, trying to find the right key and the right tempo, and just to make sure the arrangement was all ready, because he had to get the strings ready before we went in to record the track. And then we played a show in Portugal, a festival, and we flew overnight. We left the show, they raced to the airport, we flew straight to Heathrow and got in like at 6 a.m. We went straight to the studio, and we spent all day, 2 days basically, recording the song. And it was just sort of overwhelming, because we were not really prepared to go into the studio just from being on stage every night. And then we went back, you know, flew from there to Switzerland for another show, and then we ended up in America finishing.
Is this going to go on any longer?
Yeah, so I'm giving them some detail. And then we mixed it in America, and then we came